Why, hello there, ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, children, friends, family, everybody in between. Welcome to another round of Modern. My name is Dylan from Alternate Universes, and folks, strap in for a long one if you can't tell by the length of the video. We're going to be here a while. On the left, we have Mark Amaro playing green-white Heliod. No company this time, just playing the One Ring instead. On the right, we have Karsten Neal playing not Jund Pile. I missed a very interesting or important card when going through his deck, and that card is right there, folks. Lantern of Insight. If you don't know what that card does, you play with the top card of your deck revealed. So, yeah. It's an interesting time. Lantern used to be a deck that was like pretty popular back in the older days of Modern. I won't even say it was pretty popular. I just know it was a deck that was played. People out there in the world played Lantern. Not too much anymore. I don't know if it's just like what exactly has caused Lantern to fall out of favor. But we got Karsten here. We're playing it. And yeah, it's a time. I can't quite tell you the win condition of the deck. I want to say it's locking your opponent out of doing things and using Codex Shredder to eventually deck your opponent out. But, yeah.
Yep, I'll cast Heliod with half of a mana.
Yeah,
And pass turn.
that is actually pretty good. Insight.
Yep.
View.
His sideboard's a little interesting. There's some cards like Dolphy Voidwalker in there. Guess you could also do like a Construct beatdown. He has Ensnaring Bridge in the deck to like prevent his opponent from killing him. Periphery nodes. It's a very interesting deck. I will not have the deck list. Karsten, if you're watching this and you have it built on Goldfish or Moxfield, please post it down below. I'm sure somebody would like to see this. I kind of want to see it. I am somebody in this situation. Let's talk about Mark's deck. This is green-white Heliod, right? This is the deck that if you think of Heliod, you're going to know most of the stuff. Except there is a cool new card called Agatha Soul Cauldron. We've talked about it a couple times.
So. That looks pretty
And it's in this deck, and it does some sweet things. It looks like it brings Heliod back up a little bit on the power level scale, which I'm all for. I like this deck a lot. There's a Codex Shredder. Now, unfortunately, what I didn't think about until, like, in the middle of Game 3, I was eating my dinner here. We got, normally, at AU, we order our food around, like, 4:45, 5 o'clock, so we can eat at a reasonable time before the rush of players come in for the tournament. Because we do two tournaments on Mondays. It's hellacious. You get 60 people rushing you, coming in to go and start an event at 7 o'clock. You don't get time to sit down and eat. So now, we mistimed a little bit. We had to do a big buy. It's okay. We like to do big buys. Come sell us your collections. But because of that, I ended up eating my food at like 7:15, which is now in this video. So I'm sitting there eating my chicken tenders and fries. Like the child that I am, apparently. And I didn't think about the fact that Lantern Insight is in play, and we can't see the top of their deck. So potentially the most interesting aspect of Lantern, unfortunately, is not captured on camera, because you have to make a decision about what you want your opponent to draw. Like if your opponent is starved on lands, do you want to give them the land that you see on top of the deck, or do you want to like risk them, or is it like going to be something better? Now, if you have multiple codexes, you get to do a bunch of stuff, and it's pretty cool. Which actually, I think that Mycosynth Garden's inclusion is really cool because of the fact that you can copy Codex Shredder. Or if like they're removing your lantern, you can make a lantern in response.
Go ahead, I'll pass.
Yeah, I'll draw this one.
Yep.
This will be 2, I'll review, and Snaring Bridge.
So yeah.
It's not a terrible one.
There's a copy of the One Ring here for Mark. Now, Mark has been playing Heliod for a little bit here.
For white,
And he comes in the shop and we talk about it. He knows I like the deck a lot. There's a periphery nodes. Mark had to give a little bit of a read. The white drop of honey. So he found that with the inclusions of Agatha's Soul Cauldron and some other cards, that the collective companies weren't hitting as well as he would like to, or were straight up just not hitting as often. So instead of playing Coco, he's opted to play 4 copies of the One Ring.
I will.
Makes sense, right? Like, it's a pretty sensible include here, and it's
Okay.
I like it.
Yeah, so
You can target me.
The ring in combo decks, where sometimes you just need to buy a turn,
The damage
makes sense to me. I mean, in Amulet, we play 4 copies of it because of the fact that sometimes you just need to buy a turn, sometimes you need to refill your hand. And like Heliod, it's a good way to like find things, you know. You can gain infinite life with Heliod Spike Feeder, and if your opponent doesn't concede, you can put as many influence counters on there as you want because you'll never die to them.
yeah, that's fine.
Draw.
Eventually, you'll find the Ballista, right? Or the Conclave Mentor to do the infinitely big creature kill plan.
We good to go to my main phase?
Yes.
I'll cast Oriok Champion.
Right, Oriok Champion here. 2 white, protection for black and red. Very good main deck card against the scam decks of the world.
Delighted Halfling.
Says no to Fury.
Where I'll gain a life. I go to.
Sits there and blocks Fury like a champ.
That'll trigger Heliod.
Does it have lifelink? I was actually trying to remember while watching them play, and I forgot to look it up. Does Oriok Champion say when a creature that enters the battlefield or enters under your control? I think I'm thinking of one of the other cards.
One. Good.
No, yeah, whenever another creature enters the battlefield, you gain a life. And then pro black and red. Yeah, this card is $50. This card is $7 right now. This was a $50 card before Modern Horizons 2 came out. Oh boy. Do you ever just look at Magic card prices sometimes and think about the old days? When was the last time you looked at the price of a foil Liliana of the Veil? You know what? That might not be fair. Hold on.
I guess so. This will trigger as well. So the creature with the least power will be destroyed. It's how you to choose. This will destroy this halfling.
Oh, let's check the Innistrad price.
And then
Because I'm curious. Because the box topper one from Ultimate Masters is still like $100. So it's not like it's unfair a little bit for me to be like, have you seen the price of a foil Liliana? So the Innistrad ones are fairly cheap still. They're like, here's a $70 near mint one from a reputable seller. So if you want OG foil at Lilies, there you go. But yeah, Lily of the Veil has really tanking price. Snapcaster Mage, getting low. A card that I honestly wouldn't be surprised to see in Standard in the next like year or so.
full mana.
Yep.
Hello? Oh, my posture. I'm sitting awful in this chair right now. Somewhere there was a physical therapist disappointed in me for how I was just sitting. Slaughtering my back.
Yep.
And then vitality.
Conclave Mentor or a Ranger Captain of Eos. Sages, the third card. Card and scales, basically.
Right. Thoughtseize being resolved here, giving Conclave Mentor a little bit of a read. Mentor, kind of like a hardened scale style effect,
Sure.
but has a death rattle where you gain life equal, I think equal to its power when it dies. Conclave Mentor.
Like Very
If
true.
one or more +1/+1 counters have been put on a creature you control, that many +1/+1s are put on instead, and then yeah, when it dies, it can life equal to its power. 2 mana, 2/2.
And sure.
Does its thing. Things and stuff.
Go ahead.
In your end step, I'd like to draw 2 cards.
Sure.
Move to my turn.
Yes.
Upkeep ring trigger.
Okay.
I'll go to 13. Move to my draw step.
Yeah.
What a maze of this.
I'll activate the ring.
I will know the weapon list though.
Yep.
Straight up, is Maze of Myth legal in modern?
Will
I don't think I've ever seen this card be
beyond the
played
first
in
card
modern.
drawn, he draws 3 cards. Are those the 2 cards underneath the top card? Is that hidden for me because he's drawing 3 cards at once, or is it you draw?
Cards are drawn one at a time. You get to see them.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, thank you.
You good?
Yeah.
Folks, we're good. That's definitely Buried Ruin, but I'm not gonna lie to you, it really fucking looked like Maze of Myth for a hot second to me. Buried Ruin, if you didn't know, was released in Magic 2012. This is printed in standard in M12. Tap, add 1 to your mana pool. You can sack it to return target artifact card from the graveyard to your hand. This makes a lot of sense. But yeah, no. I was looking at it. I was like, am I not able to use this footage because of a Maze of Myth? Thank the Lord. That would have been funny, though.
On the Auriok champion. I'll give it lifelink.
Alright, Auriok Champion. We're doing the thing. I get the Soul Cauldron combo. Discard the Ballista. Ping ping. The game has been won.
Nice. All right.
I get the Soul Cauldron. Such a sweet card. I really don't think there's been a card that's like excited me for deck building reasons so much like
I'll go to 19.
since that card came out.
That's pretty good.
Or besides like that card. Urza Saga probably was the last like big one that I was like, man, I really want to build around this.
That was a great draw. Gardens.
Yep.
Periphery nodes.
Yep.
Yumiya.
Do I have 2 Ulmogs?
Draw for turn.
How many Oblivion Strands I have? I raid Carstone and play Lee on an Urza Saga into a Codex Shredder, and then a Mycosyn's Garden, and a Periphery Nodes in response to Mark's Horizon Canopy, which also used to be a crazy expensive card, into a Delighted Halfling,
So I'll end up at 15. I'm going to cast
which
Heliod.
is a hell of a card on itself, by the way.
Play.
I feel like we all know that. I feel like we've all seen this card gone, yep, yeah, it's really good.
Get it in.
Pretty good.
Go
Push
ahead,
cards or push cards.
Can I read this guy?
Yep.
So good. Just static ability. Go to untap. Upkeep. This is also destroyed now. There's no creatures in play.
Excellent.
Tap, keep, do some drawing. This will go to 3. I will float mana here.
Yep.
And then I will do some revealing. It's not terrible.
Heliod for Mark. Turn 2, pretty good.
Homage?
Yep.
Stones?
Folks, they were thinking. Air Mesa land for turn here for Karsten. We have 2 Codex Shredders and a Lantern in play. We'll cast a Pithing Needle.
Yep. And then I will pass the turn.
Draw for turn.
Yeah. Light.
Combat.
Shout out to Karsten there for actually peeling off
Yes.
a piece of paper and putting it on the
Second
needle.
main. I'll go to 13.
13.
Warrior champ.
Reaction.
Go ahead.
I will. Will your Haywire play? And then I'll go to untap.
Yep.
Draw. Feel periphery now. And then I will. Touch. 17.
Fetching out of planes here. Karsten's deck is so strange. I'm like thinking of cards that I saw on the sideboard and then watching him like fetch up basic planes, knowing that like Gothy Voidwalker is a card in the sideboard that he sided in. Or the fact that there's 2 Ragavans in the sideboard of his deck. I love it. It's so weird. I really enjoy, other than the Snaring Bridge, I really enjoy when people take, I
Okay.
don't know, just like their own liberties with building. It's nice to see like 2 streamlined piles of cards go at each other, but also, man, is it fun to see the weird shit sometimes. It's entertaining. There's a welding jar in play.
In my upkeep, I'll go to 12. And I'll
We had, apparently when I was on, or I was Alf in the ether doing Magic Vegas and stuff, we had someone come to the store and play eggs. And like, we've only had one other person do that in the last like 4 years, and that was Mapson, who just on a whim was like, "I'll play eggs combo." Like, who wakes up and goes, "Man, I want to loop a Pyrite Spellbomb."
Move to my draw step. Combat.
Oh, yeah, there's one more. Yeah, not 14.
Go ahead.
When did you cast the Heliod spell?
In my upkeep.
Oh, in your upkeep. Gotcha. Okay, I wasn't sure.
Yep, you're good. Yeah, I wanted to shuffle the top card away.
I will. We're already out of cards. I will. Blue Lantern Insight.
Yep.
I will go into upkeep. I will. Nope.
Yep.
That's I will go to draw. What's
Alright, thoughts is here by Karsten. We see Spike Feeder,
read this card?
Walking Ballista, a card that I don't know, Heliod, and the One Ring.
I will take the ballista.
Mark here a little pressed on mana.
I'm at 12.
How much time's in the round?
As I imagine taking the Ballista here would be the smart call.
You make it.
Draw for turn?
Yes.
As it is a way of not dying. Karsten's Needle, by the way, on Agatha's Soul Cauldron, in case we did not talk about that.
Combat.
I know I mentioned the needle and my appreciation for Karsten for using something to denote what it is, but it is in fact on Cauldron. Here's a delighted halfling from Mark.
That'll trigger Heliod. I'll put 2 counters on the Conclave Mentor.
We'll gain a life through the Auriok Champion trigger.
Escort.
We'll put a +1/+1 counter on the Mentor.
I stay at 13, but I trigger Heliod. I'll put 2 counters on the
Or 2 +1/+1
Auriok
counters.
Champ.
Same thing. Drop it on the Auriok Champion.
Go ahead.
Draw some. Review. Place it.
Yep.
If there's a room to consider playing Endurance in this matchup
Here we go.
to reset your graveyard,
I'll drop turn.
though the likelihood that you ever actually get the thing in your hand is pretty low, right?
Cast Spike Feeder. So I got a bunch of triggers.
I feel like 9 times out of 10, if you see an Endurance on top of your deck, you're just gonna mill it. Or if they see an Endurance on top, they're gonna mill it and kill you.
Yeah. So we'll assume what I'm going to end up doing is every time I activate Spike Feeder, it gets 2 counters because of the Conclave Mentor.
So this guy's got like a million counters.
But I can also choose to put it on other creatures as
Okay.
well, right?
So you
Because I
want-
can the trigger. Yeah. So we'll just say I have like
huge
a
guys,
million.
huge
Yeah.
guys.
Like just assume all these have like 1,000 counters on them. I've gained like a bazillion life.
Deal. I will not be able to kill you with damage.
Go ahead.
I will mill your ranger captain. Move it on top.
Yep.
Control the shredder. This will go to 2. I'll reveal. I will pass the shredder.
Yep.
And then go ahead.
Drop turn.
That one is pretty good.
Shock.
I'll respond to the ring.
Yep. Brings on the staff with halfling mana.
Alright, Spike Feeder's hit the board. Mark has gained a million life and has put a million +1/+1 counters on each of his creatures. Because of the way that Heliod, Conclave Mentor, and Spike Feeder work, you pull a counter off of the Spike Feeder to gain life. You Conclave Mentor, and then you put 2 more counters on it from the Heliod ability, plus
Ring Resolve still in any
Conclave Mentor, and then you pull one off, gain 2 life, use the trigger to put it on something else, or put the life counters on something else, pull one off, put 2 counters back on Spike Feeder, go back and forth until eventually you have a board of a billion billions, and you have as much life as you want to ever have.
My console goes into I will go to untap.
Yep. Very glad you have to shuffle that away.
Upkeep.
Oh, you don't shuffle it away.
Draw.
Yeah.
This will go to 3. I will fill mana. I'll reveal. So you get to see the Inventor's Fair. Just give me the ultimate. I need to go to the needle.
Yep.
I don't even need the needle on
Now, the problem that Mark has here is he has to remove the ensnaring bridges, but he'll never actually be able to reasonably draw an answer to the ensnaring bridges because he has to have card that Karsten doesn't want him to draw on top, card after that he doesn't want him to draw, and then he has to blind draw into like the Force of Vigor or like a Ballista, right? But it's Karsten, the great creator. I think this game's pretty locked up in favor for Karsten here. I could be counting some chickens before they hatch, but I fairly confidently feel that this is going to be Carson's game.
I'll grab liquid metal coating.
Yep.
And then it's your go.
Gets the liquid metal coating, says go. We'll begin the process of stripping Mark of all of his mana,
Draw for turn.
I will mill that.
and then we'll basically just deck Mark out. We'll make it so that Mark can never actually do anything. We'll mill all the good cards. And that will be that.
Oh, sure.
That will be the way the cookie crumbles. Players know they are getting low on time in the round here. So I imagine we're going to see concessions soon.
This is so crazy. I should be able to kill you with Spike Feeder, but I can't. So I can remove counters, put them on other creatures. I can attack with one counter on Spike Feeder, but I can't gain life at instant speed. Man. Oh. I'll draw with Horizon Canopy. Okay.
Sax Horizon Canopy in response to the Codex Trader does decide he wants to draw that card. Now that was a pretty good option. And yep, just scoops it up. Game 2 will be going to Karsten here. And we'll be right back with Game 3 in just a second. Alright folks, we're back with Game 3. I've just had a piece of snacking cheese. It was Gouda, in case anyone is curious. Mark is on the play. He shocks down at 18. He plays Utopia Sprawl on this Temple Garden. He's going to name White. That's how this works. And there you go. Karsten's going to play his turn. Going to lead on a Blooming Marsh? Is that what that was? Yeah, the Blooming Marsh. Look at me go. Cast of Thoughts. He's going to be going down to 18 himself. Here we see Force of Vigor, One Ring, Gaddock Teague, and a Horizon Canopy. I imagine going to take the Force of Vigor. Isn't quite able to cast the One Ring yet, considering he wants to lock his opponent out of the game. Getting rid of the card that lets you blow up the things that lock you out of the game is probably a good idea.
Good.
Conclave Mentor coming down here.
The sage move here. And then let me make it. Drop a turn. Sure.
Sliding some decks around. Where did I put those cards?
I'm at 17. Combat, I'll swing for 2.
16.
Good.
Stearns. Lantern.
Yep. 14. Yep.
How many cards even have? 2. I will mill your missing cards.
Alright, Kodak's going to mill. Gonna shred the top of the deck.
Draft turn.
Yep.
Sprawl. White.
Yep.
Combat.
Sure.
4.
Gems in for 4 here.
10. Go ahead.
Carson, going pretty low.
Upkeep. Draw.
Down to 10.
Review. Saga.
This middle of the day coffee I'm having is very middle of the road.
I'll go to 9.
Could be better. Could be worse. We'll fetch here with an Arid Mesa. That's an island again.
Nodes.
Yep.
And bridge. Sure. After that, I will mill your range captain. You go.
Draft turn.
Yep. Uh-oh. It's going to be a creature.
Combat.
It's pretty sick. I have no cards in my hand. And
Oh, yeah. Good.
upkeep trigger. I'll kill the team.
Periphery node. Gonna blow up the Galactic here.
I'll gain a life from the and I'll draw agencies.
Oh, good. You already know what it is.
And then I will stir.
Yep. Thinking.
Alright, fetches the Windswept Teeth here. Going down to 16.
Needle resolves.
Okay, I'll see the top card of the library before. Okay.
I mean, no.
Can I see the river? Card is nuts. Is Needle still on the stack here? Like, do I still have?
There's no stack. Like, it's as it enters the battlefield. So
But I
you're-
see, like, you respond to the fetch, and then I see the top card of your library,
Yes.
and then I can respond before this resolves.
Yeah.
And here we have a Pithing Needle.
Mill, with this on the stack, I will mill.
In response to the Pithing Needle, we're going to Codex Shredder. Debating what we want to name with the needle.
And then I will name the one.
Okay.
Looks like Needle has a result, and we're going to be naming something soon. Likely target's going to be Heliod, Walking Ballista, Agatha's Soul Cauldron. Those are probably the biggest ones.
Good.
The One Ring. I will go to insane. Upkeep, all gain a life, upkeep, trigger, destroy, complemental.
Yeah. So you're at 11. I'll be at 18.
Yeah. 18 and then I'll go to draw Pixis Pandemonium. Feel bridge. Pixis.
Sure is. We've lost it. We've lost the war. It's over. Minsk and Boo's taken over. Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
I will go to mill the Heliod.
What is the name of that card? Pixis? When you activate it, both players exile the top card of their deck underneath of it. is the name? I can spell right. Pixis of Pandemonium. Yeah. One CMC artifact. Tap. Each player exiles the top card of his or her library face down. Tap 7. Sacrifice Pixis. Each player turns face up. All cards he or she owns exiled with Pixis, then puts all permanent cards from among them onto the battlefield. Very interesting card from OG Theros.
In your draw stack, I will hit the Pixis.
I'll crack Horizon Canopy in response.
Pretty good, pretty good.
That resolves.
Let's face down on the Pixis.
Oh, sure.
Did they not update that rule?
Huh?
I thought they updated the rule that if you hadn't knowledge of what the card going to exile was, like you can still play it if it's face up.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing.
Yeah, Pendelhaven.
Not just any Pendelhaven.
So I'll draw for turn.
I know they did that.
Yes. It's the most uncastable card ever. 6 was like planes, 4 is
The Spike Feeder. Good.
Okay. I will untap.
Alright, got a Spike Feeder here for market.
I will Pixis. I will definitely draw the gardens. Review. Play the gardens. I guess I missed a life gain. Here we go.
Draw for turn.
Yes.
Land for turn. Cauldron.
Guess I might be cooked right here. Messier Gate.
Yep.
Alright, I guess the Soul Cauldron here for Mark. Has a Pendelhaven in play, Misty, the Temple Guard with the Utopia Sprawl on it, and a Temple Guard without anything on it. Carson checking the deck.
Agatha, Exile, Agatha.
That's good.
Yeah, sorry, that's good. No responses.
Yeah, I'm gonna target the Ranger Captain.
Very interesting. Okay.
Counter here.
Very good. Oh, wow.
I can sack it so that anything with a counter is you can't cast non-creature spells.
Alright, Cauldron exiling.
No, it's fair.
Ranger Captain of Eos here. Meaning Spike Feeder does now have the activated ability of Spike fuck. The Ranger Captain of Eos.
I will just go. I will mill this card.
Yep.
I will untap and go to my peak gain element. 12.
Yeah.
Fair. Yeah, I'll draw the Ghost Quarter.
Yep.
Reveal Saga. Play Ghost Quarter.
Sure.
One of the cool things about the Codex Shredders is that you can also use it on yourself. That way, if you see cards on top of your deck that you don't want, you can just mill them and then draw good cards, hopefully.
Sack Fair.
Yeah, it's fine.
There's a correct answer here. I'm gonna fuck that.
How much time?
Good needle. I'll play needle. I'll name the Cauldron.
It's fine.
I will reveal my top of my library.
Alright, we have 2 needles here now for Carson. A Pixis, Codex Shredder, a Lantern, and an Ensnaring Bridge. No cards in hand.
And then here we go.
Folks, the clock is winding down. There's 54 seconds left. neither player really looks like they're in a position to win the game. Mark looks like he'll be effectively controlled out.
Land for turn. Good.
Now the issue that Karsten has. The first pithing needle, by the way, is on the One Ring. The second one is on Agatha's Soul Cauldron here.
Yep.
In case you were curious.
I'll take Pixels.
I'll respond with a fetch. 17.
All right. And Mark fetching a basic forest here. 10 seconds left in the round. Folks, we will see time called, and turn player will be turn 0. We'll go through the end of turn procedures, which if you haven't actually done that for Magic, let's go over that for you. Turn player will be turn 0. Then it'll go to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And 5 will be the last turn. If there's no winner determined by that time, the game is a draw. Meaning, in this situation, both players would receive a draw for the round. There's a Karn the Great Creator here.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's very interesting. I don't know if Karsten can deterministically kill Mark before the turns are up. Mark has a chance to do it. It's not great. Especially with Karn on the board. Right? Like, you can't kill somebody with whatchamacallit? Walking Ballista. If there's a Karn. You could if there wasn't a Pithing Needle on against the Soul Cauldron. It is a little rough here.
Turn 1. Correct, Dylan? Yep. Draw for turn. Turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, turn 4. So you get 2 turns. Cast the One Ring.
Yeah.
I have protection from everything.
Protection from everything. I will.
Alright, Mark, cast the One Ring here. We'll gain protection. I think Mark's game plan, genuinely,
Protection on the
is
staff.
to
Yes.
cast the ring each turn. And just keep getting the protection trigger until the draw happens. Which, like, makes sense, right? You don't want to lose the game. Drawing sucks, but at this position, if he has no way to actually win the game, it's probably better to play for the draw. Can still win the next 2 rounds and get $30 in store credit.
Yeah, you have production from everything.
All right, ring protection trigger happens. Carson going to go to his turn. Will be turn 2. I enjoy Mark putting the Soul Cauldron and the ring upside down to indicate that he can't actually use them. It's a small thing, but I like it. Will cast Collective Brutality. I believe he accidentally picks a mode that doesn't work because of the protection trigger, so he's just going to choose something else.
Yeah. Okay.
A-okay there.
I cast this, and I have to choose a mode. I guess I'll give this -2/-2.
Karsten going to just down tick with the ring here. Go get a Stone Brain. Mark says, okay. I'm going to cast a Stone Brain.
It's fine.
Go ahead.
I have another ring, so I'm just going to get protection.
And then
inside
this
of
is
you,
Mark
so
explaining that he's just going to keep
if you'd like to save time.
getting ring protection triggers every turn until the draw.
We could play
That is the plan.
No, I mean that's. I don't think we're gonna finish from here. I wasn't. If you were gonna deterministically kill me in the next more than 5 turns,
Both players, I think, just going to take their draw here.
Draw's
Yep.
fine.
Folks, that'll be a draw. Tune in for next round. It's always anticlimactic ending the video on a draw. I don't know what to say. Have a great day.